Hey there, I'm Key Austin, and you're watching Buster H.R. Johnson on YouTube.
Well, hey. Oh, hold up. That's the wrong dude. It's Big Buster here with you. You're watching Buster H.R. Johnson on YouTube. This is a brand new episode of Sitting Down with Sam, but obviously Sam's not here, so you're stuck with me. But today, we're in Paragould, Arkansas. We're here at the N.W.F, the National Wrestling Federation, and it's the big tag team tournament. Tonight, the first tag team champions in over 15 years. And we got a very special guest with us here today. We got the owner, he's the promoter, Mr. Ron Spence. How you doing, Ron?
My pleasure.
Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
Well, Ron, you know, why don't you start out by just telling us what tonight means for the NWF?
Tonight is probably the biggest event in NWF history. For the first time in 15 years, we're going to have brand new NWF Mid-American Tag Team Champions. At one time, they was the most prestigious tag teams belts in wrestling in the independent circuit. And I'm proud to say that we got 10 teams involved. It's going to be an elimination tag team. If you're watching this right now, you still got time to come out and buy a ticket, watch the event. It's going to be a great event, and we're going to have, like I said, brand new NWF Mid-American Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, it's going to be a big night tonight.
I believe it is.
I think that at the end of the night, you're going to crown brand new champions and maybe start a whole new era of NWF.
I believe so, yes.
Well, Ron, I want to ask you, just like I would ask anybody else, just like me, I want to know, how old were you when you fell in love with pro wrestling?
I was probably about 5 or 6 years old.
5 or 6. See, that's the same way I was.
I remember watching it go on my grandmother's on the weekends and watching it. My dad died when I was 4.5 years old.
Yes, sir.
And Mom had to work. And back then, you know, she worked off tips at a restaurant. And, you know, you can't really afford to get a babysitter when you're working for tips. So my grandmother took care of me over Missouri. And every Saturday, back then the wrestling came on at 3:30 in the afternoon to 5 o'clock. You had the interns, the spoilers. So I wandered off from the spoilers. You had Jackie Fargo, Lorenzo Parente,
yes,
Bobby Hart, Johnny Long, Koji Yamamoto, Jerry Jarrett, Johnny Walker, which also is Mr. Wrestling number 2.
Yes, sir.
You had Don and Al Green. You had what I call the mainstay of professional wrestling in Memphis at that time. And back then, wrestling was not held at the Coliseum; it was held at the LS Auditorium.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we used to watch that every Saturday, and that's how I got involved watching it. And you know, and when I moved to Louisiana, I used to go to the Centralplex and watch Bill Watson and Mid-South wrestling. Watch DLC and Dr. S.C. Williams and Junkyard Dog and the Midnight Express, the Rock and Roll Express, and you name it, that's who I saw.
Glory days of wrestling.
4 days of wrestling, yes. And then probably in the mid-90s, I guess, and then a wrestling show out at Dixie, Arkansas. In case you still don't know where Dixie, Arkansas is, Dixie is one of those places out in the middle of Cottonville. You have to get lost to get there.
Yes, sir. I've actually wrestled in Dixie before.
Okay, well,
yeah.
You know all about Dixie, Arkansas. And Lee Cook, Lee Colbeck, the show down there. And I said, you get about a ring announcer? I said, I never done it before. I said, but I think I'm like, he said, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I watched Dave Brown long enough and another ring announcer long enough that, you know, I thought I'd just call them and he said, I said, yeah, he said, you'll come back work for me next week. He said, oh, you'll be a ring announcer next week. I said, well, I guess. I said, I didn't really think so much about it. I said, I want to do it that one time. And so that's a little bit how I fell in love with wrestling. I was just, it was a good way to get a lot of stress out of you.
Relieve a lot of stress. Yes, sir. I understand that fully. Mr. Spence, hold on just a minute. Everybody knows that Buster H.R. Johnson and the NWF, it's a family show, a family atmosphere. So there's going to be kids running around. There might even be some babies crying. Just deal with it. That's all we can tell you. That's how we roll here. Now, Mr. Spence, let me ask you this. 5 is about when you fell in love with wrestling.
Yeah, and really, I didn't really know what it was. I saw it on TV, and I thought, hey, I like that.
Yes, sir. Well, let me ask you this then. When did being in love with wrestling as a fan turn into something that you thought you wanted to jump in the pool on?
Well, really, I never really thought about getting into the business because I didn't know nothing about the business to get into it. But I got invited to a show out at Dixie. It's called Wrestling Outlaw Network, W.N. And they had some young guys running shows out there, and pretty good little talent. But the guy with the building there decided to raise the rent on the building, so that kind of left my place. And I was talking to at the time Detroit Rocker. He represented Milford Pro Detroit Rocker.
I remember the name. I can't place it.
And him and a few others. And he said, what should we do? I said, well, I don't know. I said, I don't know nothing about the business. I said, I can do what's on TV, but that's all I know about the business. And so they said, well, I'd be interested in taking over the company. Well, yeah, we're going to make some changes. And I do. Number one, I said, we're going to get rid of the outlaw. I never liked the word outlaw in professional wrestling because just because you're not part of a major organization don't mean you're outlaw. That means you're independent.
Yeah, well, see, when I was brought into business, when I broke in, that was Eddie Marlin. If you wasn't USWA or you wasn't a established territory group, that's what they referred to us as outlaws. If it was anything other than somebody who had a regional territory with some regional TV, they called you outlaw wrestlers.
Well, in my opinion,
Come here.
I don't like that terminology for anybody. And the fans will make the decision who they want to go see.
That's right. That's right.
The fans, if they like it, they'll buy a ticket. If they don't, they won't.
You're right about that.
And so I said, we're going to change this. And I came up with the name National Wrestling Federation. And I made some strict rules. I said, no, I expect you to be in the district at a certain time. I said, no drinking or smoking.
Yes, sir.
And no smoking in front of the fans. I had some strict rules that they had to abide by. And we grew, I think the first show we did was in Clover Bend, Arkansas in January. The heaters were not working.
Oh, Lord.
And it was about 40 degrees in that building. And you talk about people holding up.
That's right.
And we had about 40 people. And I've gone from 40 people to what I am right now. And I think one of the reasons that we're headed back to the top is because of the type shows that we put on. We put on family-oriented shows.
That's right.
And my job as a promoter is not to be a champion. My job as a promoter is to draw money for the company. And so I think one of our successful things is we do put on good shows. I've got good workers that can do this. And I got a booker that we work together. He don't have full reign. He'll put something together. He asks me what I think. I'm the type guy that wants to know why are we doing it this way? Why are we putting these matches? Is there a reason for this?
Exactly. Is there a reason these guys are mad at each other? Why are they mad at each other?
And I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings, okay? I'm just going to be straight up. You know me for a long time.
Yes, sir.
And I've always shot straight. A lot of these promoters, the reason they're in the promotion business is because they want to wear a championship belt.
Yep, they want to be main event.
But you have never seen me with a championship belt.
You're right. You're right.
You have never seen me in the ring.
You're right.
Because my job is to be a promoter. It's not to be in the ring and wrestle.
That's right. It's your job to promote the shows, get the buildings, make sure we put people in these seats. Give the wrestlers the best opportunity you can to perform in front of these people and make them come back. Give them a reason to come back. That's what I like about this show.
I got, as far as I'm concerned, I got some of the best wrestlers going for that, vying for that belt every time we get in the ring. you got guys like our current champion James Lee.
Yes, sir.
Now sometimes I don't agree with some of his methods sometimes, but he's a great wrestler. Then you got the outsider.
Yes, sir.
You know, who is, I think is good to anybody business. And then you got Bud Light Brody J, who I think is capable of wrestling the world champion.
Yes, you've got some good talent here. I know that myself. I've seen it firsthand. You've got some guys.
In fact, I would put my Mid-American champion, N.W.F. Mid-American champion, against the N.W.A. world champion right now.
You heard that, didn't you? That right there is a straight-up challenge. The N.W.F. heavyweight champion against the N.W.A. world heavyweight champion. N.W.A., you got the guts. You heard it from the man himself. The owner, the promoter of the N.W.F. answered the call.
Not trying to be smart, I'm just stating the facts.
Well, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to take what you want in this business. That's one thing about this business. If you just sit around and wait on opportunity, it's going to pass you right by, or somebody else who wants it bad enough and tries to take it, it's going to snatch it from you. That's one thing I learned in this business. If you want something in this business, go out and take it.
Let me tell you something about one of the young guys, and me and you have talked about him before, and even though he's in the chair over there watching us, I'll say it to his face, and I said it behind his back. Brody J is probably one of the best wrestlers in America today.
I think so too. He's one of the top young talents.
And so I think that he's wrestling with Tommy Rich. And Tommy Rich said he was a phenomenal partner. So, when people come to your show like Rock and Roll Express and Bill Dundee and Tommy Rich and Doug Everett, and says that you got a top-notch program here.
Yes, sir.
That means a lot.
It means a whole lot, yes.
And so when other people say that I don't know what I'm doing, apparently I'm doing something right.
Well, you understand. You know this. They may not out there know this, but if you're the booker or promoter, you got instant heat with somebody.
Yeah.
With the workers, you got heat with the workers, period, because if they ain't in the spot that they think they deserve, it's your fault.
And she runs my dressing room.
That's her. That's my girl right here. Look around at the camera. Look at the camera. This is my little girl, Mookie, and this is what we do here. We're a family show. We're a family organization, and when you watch Buster H.R. Johnson on YouTube, you're liable to see this. There's liable to be a baby or two running around, screaming, crying, but that don't stop what we do. Now, let me ask you something. I heard from a little birdie that we've got some pretty high-level stars coming in here in the future.
Well, yes, we do. Beach from Arkansas, June 5th, we got the legendary Rock and Roll Express coming back.
That's nine times.
And also July the 10th, Jerry the King Lawler's coming in.
Now see, I knew about the Rock and Roll Express, and I've heard a little chatter about Lawler, but that right there is going to set you. It's going to establish you a notch above.
I'm not really for sure how we're going to use Lawler yet, but he is available for that night, and he'll wrestle either single or tag, but he will be on the card. And whoever he does wrestle or singles or tag, it's going to be a good match. And I'm working on a good, solid sponsor for that one. I think there's an organization here in town that's got a lot of likes on the Facebook. And in fact, they got their band is the number one band, high school band in Arkansas, and they're ranked number 10th in the nation.
Okay.
And so we'll probably get them to be the concession stand people for that. And so if I do that, I think it's going to draw a good crowd.
I think it will. I think both shows will draw a good crowd.
I think Leachville's always done good for us. We had good crowds at Leachville.
I'm anxious for the Rock and Roll Express to come in, and I'm really anxious for Jerry Lawler to come in. That would be a nice feather in the cap.
I don't know if I'm that good a promoter or I'm just lucky, or maybe God's given me a talent.
Probably a combination of all.
I think in this business, I think a lot of it is luck.
A lot of it is luck. I believe that.
It's like going to the casino and pulling the slot machine. There can be times you think, man, you're just going to pack it out and you ain't got nobody. And there's going to be times you say, man, I don't think we're going to draw that, man. And you say, good grief, where all these people come from.
That's right.
So I'm looking forward to tonight. I guess what happens. I'm always tense before a show. It's like you know. But after the show, I'm all right.
Well, people don't realize it out there. If you're not been involved in the inner workings of wrestling, they think, well, it ain't nothing to put on a show. But there's a whole lot behind the scenes that goes on to putting on a show just like this. It's not just open the door, sell tickets, sell concessions, and have matches. You got to book the building. You got to get your ring. You got to get all your wrestlers. I mean, there's tons of things that you have to do to make all this happen, and that all falls on your shoulders.
Yeah, sometimes I say, why am I doing this for? Then I realize it's something I enjoy doing. You have those nights where it just, if things don't click, and sometimes it don't click. Oh, by the way, while I'm thinking of it, the first Saturday in May, we got a ladies match.
Okay.
I'm bringing in a young lady. She wrestles out of Chicago. She was the champion up there out of the Windy City, United States champion.
Yes, sir.
Her name is Celine Gray, an excellent worker, excellent wrestler, and she's going to be wrestling Jennifer Justice in a special ladies match. So,
well, we know Jennifer Justice here. She's one of the
toughest girls,
and she's also one of the Inhumane Society, right?
Yeah, of course. Where she's at, they'll be close by too. So I guess you just got to go with it.
Well, you know how them guys are. They don't always play by the rules. So.
Well, I think, and I'm not Celine can break the rules too if she has to. So it's going to be an interesting match.
It'll be good. I'm glad you got a ladies match coming. The ladies lately over the past few years have really been the hottest thing in wrestling. They made leaps and bounds over the last few years compared to what they used to be. Well, Ron, why don't you tell us some of the teams that's going to be in this tournament? Now, this will be, just so everybody knows,
okay.
This will air after the tournament happens, but that's okay. You're getting a little inside scoop on what's going down and how this all works.
These are the belts.
Oh, Ron, let me see those. That's beautiful. Whoa. Man,
And they're not lightweight either. They're heavy.
They are heavy. Take a look at that. Tag teams out there. I know it'll be over time you see this, but this right here, National Wrestling Federation tag team titles, this is what you guys are all fighting for tonight. You understand that? This right here is everything. Oh, y'all, I want to see everybody, every one of you teams, I want to see you go out there and give it 100% for these belts.
Well, I'll name some of the teams. We got 10 right now. I don't have the sheet in front of me, and my mind goes blank sometimes, but I put a team together, and I kind of made them roster together. That's Key Awesome and Apex Matt. The reason I did that because they're great individual wrestlers. I can see how good they were as a team. Now, it may not work out. It may work out. We don't know yet.
But see, that's a story we've been following real close at Buster H.R. Johnson on YouTube. Yeah. We've really been following the Apex Matt and the Key Awesome situation. I'm anxious to see how they do tonight. They're both young, phenomenal wrestlers, but deep down, they don't like each other. And recently, they have had some problems. So, will they survive? Who knows?
Another tag team is Brody J and the mission partner, Charlie Brown. Yeah.
Come on now, Ron. We're here. Ain't nobody but us here. Just me and you. Tell me who's
It's Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown.
Get down to town, Charlie Brown.
That'll work. I guess, y'all, if you want to know who the partner is, you got to come out and see it because we're not going to tell you here.
Or is it Jim Brown? Anyway, it's one of the Browns.
Okay. Maybe James Brown.
No, he don't get down no more. He's laid down permanently. Then you got the Lowlife family.
Yep.
Chief Hill and James Lee. You got the Inhumane Society, Crusher and Brimstone. You got the Hambones. They're coming back. You got Outsider and a partner coming in, and plus others. So it's going to be a good night.
Well, sorry, a lot of these people don't know it, but James Lee, the Lowlife family, he's actually your N.W.F. heavyweight champion right now.
Yes, he sure is, and he's also the son of Bulldog Scott.
Yep, that's right too. I don't know if everybody out there knows that. We assume everybody does because We've known it forever, but yes, he is son of the legendary Moondog Spot, and the apples don't fall far from the tree.
That's true.
They don't look alike, but they have a lot of the same attributes.
Yeah, sure do.
And this one here, we're going to get her a little tag partner. I think James Lee has got a little girl that's about a year old. We're going to put them together, and they going to be the N.W.F tag team champions.
We both call them the nuisance.
The nuisance, that's right.
Sure.
So that's what we do. We get involved and we get into things. Well, Mr. Spence, let's get into the personal, a little personal. We've talked about the N.W.F. Well, let's talk about when you decided, what age was it when you decided that you were going to make the leap from being a friend and being a one-time ring announcer to decided this is something that you really wanted to?
I was 36 years old.
36. That's kind of on up there to start to decide you're going to go on and jump into fires in the wrestling business.
Yeah, I was 36 years old. Don't ask me why I got involved with it. Like I said, like I told you, so it's kind of an accident. And apparently she don't like the belt, so you just throw them over there somewhere.
She's just a little troublemaker, what she is. She's already a bad guy, or a bad girl.
She's not a hill, she's a hill S.
Hill is, that's right.
I was 36 years old. I got involved with it. I've been in it since 1996. And of course, I took some time off. I got out of the business for a while because of the commission. The commission's got some stupid rules, and I don't know what the rules were half the time, so I didn't feel like messing with it. So I just.
Well, they do make it hard. They don't. I think they've abolished wrestling from in Arkansas now, haven't they?
Yes, no commission for wrestling in Arkansas. Yes.
See, that's been the problem all my whole career. Other than Tennessee, every state you went in, you had to buy a license once a year. And a lot of states, they took you physical. You had to be checked out by the doctor. You had to have a doctor on site. And if you're the WWL or something like that, that's great because they make enough money where the commission makes enough money. But when the commission wants to come into our little wrestling shows, and even if we've got 300 or 400 people, and you got to give them their cut, well, that eats into every guy here, every wrestler here, that eats into their profit and your profit.
I'm fixing to say something that may make a couple of voters mad, but I really don't.
Yes, sir.
When they took this thing and got it out of commission, you had one promoter taking credit for all of it. And I just, I'm not going to mention his name, but he's got the ASWF in Tuckerton.
Okay.
And you would think he would be the only. Well, he was the only one that ever had to fight this battle. But I've been fighting this battle for 20-something years to get the commission out of wrestling because I don't think it needs to be in wrestling.
I don't either.
And all of a sudden he gets credit for it, and I said, wait a minute. I said, look, man, I said, I was involved with this long before you even came along. I said, before you even knew what a headlock was, I said, I was booking matches, I was booking workers, I was putting on shows. I said, that's kind of a slap in the face. Somebody like me has put his time and effort in trying to make wrestling better in Arkansas, and you take all the credit for it.
Yeah.
And so I'm the one that actually am responsible after 20 years of fighting with the state legislators, trying to get their heads out of their rear ends and say, hey, look, this is what the commission does. And finally I got a guy who listened to me, and they voted it out. At 100% too. There was no dissenting votes against it.
Well, it ain't just the money either. At the heart of pro wrestlers are, especially at the highest level, some of the best athletes in the world, bar none. It's just as good as any other professional athlete at high level, NFL, NBA, it does not matter. But, if we have to, wrestling at the heart is entertainment. I mean, as a wrestler, there was years that I never thought I didn't view it that way. You know what I mean? I viewed it from the opposite side. But wrestling it's pageantry. It's athleticism. It's entertainment. You get to be anything. You get to be a rock star. You get to be an athlete. You get to be an actor.
So I get football in.
I don't even watch football anymore. It's got so bad. I do not watch football.
But a lot of that's pageantry too.
Well, you know, any professional sport that once it hits TV,
It's pageantry.
it's pageantry. UFC, they can say what they want.
Well,
you can have 100 great fights, but when Conor McGregor gets on TV and runs his mouth,
yeah.
people show up because that's what they want to see. They want to be entertained.
A few years ago, we went down to the athletic commission meeting at Little Rock, and that was the biggest scam I've ever seen in my life. And they had some boxing promoters there, and they treated us wrestling promoters just like we were dirt.
Yep.
You know, and what are you doing there? You're not even a real. I said, didn't say we were.
But they want to come and take your money just like your boxing or MMA.
And then they said, the boxing promoter said, well, you guys, he said, you're a bunch of fakes anyway. I said, well, I said, maybe so, but let me tell you something. I said, I'll say this right to you. And I said, right to his face in front of his boxers. I said, in front of everybody. I said, a professional wrestler can whoop a boxer any day of the week. He said, are you sure? I said, I'm certain. I said, I'll put any one of my wrestlers in the ring with your champion, and my wrestler will whoop your wrestler any day of the week.
That's right.
He said, how you know? I said, well, first of all, boxers are one-dimensional. The only thing they do is box.
Yep.
Once the wrestler takes him off his feet, locks him up, that boxer's done. He cannot continue no more.
That's right.
So I'll still say this: a good pro wrestler, right? I ain't talking about some of these guys that don't wrist lock or wrist watch. I'm talking about a good wrestler who can lock you up and tie you up, can whoop a boxer in day of the week.
Well, you know, they see what we do in here, and they just see what you do, and they think, I could do that. But until you've been in this ring, until you take bumps on this mat over and over, pro wrestlers are some of the toughest. You got to be tough, period, just to do this.
If this thing's so easy, why don't everybody do it?
That's right. And why don't everybody who does give it a try, why don't they make it if it's so easy? You know what I mean?
Well, a lot of people don't, because they don't have the dedication. If you just want honest, there's no dedication. And so, you got to be dedicated to this. I'll be honest with you, I've bet more times than not. After each one, I've had it, I'm done, you know. And of course, actually, I'm over it, you know. I'm back to promoting again, but you have those nights where you just say to yourself, I've had it, you know. And I'm sure if you've been through hard enough, you've been a few shows too. So by the time you get home, you're over it.
Yeah.
And but I think we got some nice belts here.
I do. I love these belts. I'm anxious for this show tonight. I've been looking forward to this show for a solid month, actually longer than that.
Yeah.
But the last month, we've been staying in tune with what's going on as best we could with the N.W.F and the N.W.F wrestlers with promos, and you've made a few announcements. And I'm really anxious to see how this thing plays out.
Well, I just hope people come out and enjoy a nice professional wrestling, and also come out and support the 1925 house and the Proverbs 31 house. These are good organizations that help people that's got drug addictions and other addictions, you know, vices. And, you know, we're helping raise money for them as well. So if you're watching this and you got plenty of time to go get you a bite to eat, or if you don't get a bite to eat, come on, get some at the concession stand and buy a ticket. Tickets are just $10. And if you, gentlemen, if you bring your wives or girlfriends, no, I said wives or girlfriends, I said wives and girlfriends, okay? Wives or girlfriends, we'll let them in at half price.
But if you do got a wife and a girlfriend, and you can get them both in the same place at the same time without killing each other, both of them get in for $5 a piece. Mr. Spence, we're fixing to have to wrap it up, but while we're here, before we get off the camera, why don't you give your sponsors a shout out? Let us know who your sponsors are.
I want to thank SDM Pond, Auto Effects, Legacy Equipment, Mr. T's Riverside, Broken Spoke Tire. Mine's going blank now.
Well, you can't remember them all, but they all know you're thinking about them, and they all know you appreciate them.
There's, like I said, Legacy River, and there's a couple more, and I will plug them tonight at the show.
Okay, well, Mr. Spence, it's been great having you here on Buster H.R. Johnson on YouTube.
Oh yeah, and Southwest, Los Angeles Southwest Grill. That's a new Mexican restaurant here in Berryville.
Okay.
Got some great food. Go out and see them. And Hull House is the other one too.
Y'all go out and support all of these businesses. They support the N.W.F. They support local wrestling. You go support them. Mr. Spence, it was great having you here.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you for being here, and if we have a chance somewhere down the line, I'd like to do this again and get a little more in depth with you on your personal thoughts and personal opinions about pro wrestling and everything else.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, thank you. All right, everybody, another great interview. Big Buster sitting in for Sexy Sam. Be sure to go like and subscribe. Please subscribe on Facebook and especially on YouTube. Go out and subscribe. I'm trying to get 100 subscribers. I'm at 65, and my kids have been bugging me. They said if I get 100 subscribers, they want to get me on camera and pie me in the face. And I've been thinking about it, and I tell you what, if we get 100 subscribers, you'll see that happen. If we get 100 subscribers, I'll let them pie me in the face, and I tell you what, it might even be, we might do it live on Facebook or live on YouTube. It'll be the first live thing we've ever done at Buster H.R. Johnson on YouTube. So please go like, share, and subscribe. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you, Mr. Spence.
My pleasure.
And we'll see y'all next time.
See you at the show.